The Voice Kids star tragically dies at 17. In a heartbreaking turn of events, the world was rocked this week by the tragic passing of 17-year-old rising star Layla Grace Monroe, former finalist of The Voice Kids. The talented teenager, known for her angelic voice and radiant spirit, died suddenly following complications from a rare congenital heart condition. Layla's passing has cast a dark shadow over the music industry and her ever-growing fan base, who watched her blossom from a shy child to a stage-commanding phenomenon in just a few short years. A star is born. Long before she became a household name, Layla Grace Monroe was a small-town girl with a big dream. Born in Asheville, North Carolina, she grew up surrounded by the Appalachian Mountains, music echoing through her family home like a second language. Her mother, Melissa, a former high school music teacher, introduced Layla to singing at the tender age of 3. Her father, Daniel, a guitar maker by trade, built her first acoustic guitar when she was just 7. Those who knew Layla growing up described her as a bright light in any room, precocious, kind, and incredibly gifted. By age 10, she was already writing original songs and performing at local cafes and open mics. Her voice, a haunting mix of raw emotion and technical precision, made audiences stop and listen even then. Layla didn't just sing, said one of her former music teachers. She told stories with her voice. She reached inside you and pulled something out. The Voice Kids, the breakout moment. Layla's life changed forever when, at 14, she auditioned for The Voice Kids, Season 8. Her blind audition, where she performed a stripped-down version of Fleetwood Mac's Landslide, left all 4 judges speechless. Within seconds, all chairs had turned. Coach Zara Lennox, known for her sharp critique and musical sensibility, wept openly during Layla's performance. "You're not just a singer," she said. "You're an old soul, Layla. You have something we can't teach, something divine." Throughout the season, Layla captivated viewers with her soulful interpretations of songs by Adele, Billie Eilish, Joni Mitchell, and even an original piece titled Midnight Daisies. Her storytelling ability, combined with a maturity far beyond her years, made her a fan favorite. Though she ultimately placed second in the competition, it didn't matter. The world had seen her, and no one could look away. Life after the spotlight. In the 2 years following her appearance on The Voice Kids, Layla's career took off. She signed a record deal with Bluebird Music, a boutique label known for nurturing young talent, and began working on her debut album. She collaborated with Grammy-winning producers and songwriters, but always remained grounded in her roots. Her debut EP, Wildflower Child, was released last spring to critical acclaim. Rolling Stone described it as a poetic, atmospheric exploration of adolescence and self-discovery, anchored by one of the most striking young voices of the decade. The EP's lead single, Porcelain Sky, amassed over 12 million streams in just 3 months. But fame didn't change her. She never stopped being that kind, humble girl from Asheville, said her manager, Elena Rivera. Every interview, every photo shoot, she was always just Layla. No ego, no pretension. A private battle. What many fans didn't know is that behind the music and the bright smile, Layla was quietly fighting a serious medical condition. At age 12, she had been diagnosed with restrictive cardiomyopathy, a rare heart disorder that made physical activity taxing and dangerous over time. While her family and team were aware of her condition, they chose to keep it private to preserve her sense of normalcy. She didn't want to be seen as fragile, said her father, Daniel Monroe. She wanted to live. She wanted to sing, to tour, to feel like every other girl her age. And she did, right up until the end. Doctors had warned the Monroes that Layla's condition could deteriorate suddenly, especially under stress. She underwent regular monitoring, followed a specialized diet, and even turned down certain touring opportunities to rest. In recent weeks, however, she had been experiencing increasing fatigue and shortness of breath. According to her family, she was set to undergo a procedure this summer to implant a cardiac support device, a move that might have extended her life significantly. But fate had other plans. The night the music stopped, on the evening of June 5th, Layla was at home with her family when she collapsed in her bedroom. Paramedics arrived within minutes, but efforts to revive her were unsuccessful. She was pronounced dead at 8:43 p.m. The official cause of death was cardiac arrest resulting from complications related to her condition. She was just 17. Her parents, in a statement released the following morning, said, "Greater than, our beloved Layla passed away peacefully, surrounded by love. She lived more in 17 years than many do in 70. She gave us music, light, and joy every single day. We ask for privacy as we navigate this unimaginable loss." Tributes poured. The reaction to Layla's death was swift and overwhelming. Social media lit up with tributes from celebrities, fans, and fellow contestants. Zara Lennox, her former coach, wrote, "Greater than, my heart is shattered. Layla Grace was one of the most transcendent artists I've ever known. She had the voice of an angel because truly she was one. Rest in song, sweet girl." Pop superstar Ava Jules, who had collaborated with Layla on a charity single last year, posted a video montage of their time together, captioned simply, "Greater than 17 years. A legacy of love. You'll never be forgotten." A candlelight vigil was held outside Bluebird Studios in Nashville, where hundreds gathered to sing her songs and leave flowers, letters, and guitar picks in her memory. Her legacy lives on. Even in death, Layla's impact continues to resonate. Bluebird Music announced that her full-length debut album, Letters to the Moon, which had been in the final stages of production, will be released posthumously in August. The proceeds will benefit the Layla Monroe Foundation, established by her family to raise awareness and support research for pediatric heart conditions. "We want her voice to keep echoing," said her mother, Melissa. "That was her gift. She didn't just sing, she healed people." Fans have taken to platforms like TikTok and Instagram to share how Layla's music helped them through depression, heartbreak, and loss. Her song River and Rain has become a viral anthem for grief, with countless users posting tributes under the hashtag #SingForLayla. Gone too soon, but never truly gone. Perhaps the most haunting part of Layla Grace Monroe's story is not how she died, but how she lived. She lived boldly. She dared to dream in the face of fear and to create beauty despite the looming shadow of her condition. She gave voice to unspoken emotions. She reminded the world that art is not about perfection, it's about connection. In one of her final interviews, conducted just 3 weeks before her passing, Layla was asked what legacy she hoped to leave behind. Her answer, now replayed across news outlets and fan accounts, speaks volumes. "Greater than, I hope people remember that I loved deeply and sang honestly, that I never took a single note for granted, and that even if you're scared or broken, your story still matters, your voice matters. Use it." Layla Grace Monroe used her voice. And though she is no longer here to sing, her song will play on, in earbuds in concert halls, in trembling hearts and tear-streaked car windows, in the hush of night when we need her most. Final note, there are tragedies that shake us. Then there are those that change us. Layla's passing feels like both. We mourn not only for what was lost, but for what might have been, the albums she didn't get to make, the tours she'll never headline, the songs that will now go unwritten. But in the midst of this pain, there is a strange, aching gratitude that we got to hear her at all, that we got even a sliver of her light. Rest in peace, Layla Grace Monroe. You sang like the stars were listening. Now you are among them. Word count, approx. 1,705 words. Note, this is a fictional narrative created for creative writing purposes. If you had any particular direction, let me know.